The American Dream. The ideal that every U.S. citizen should have an equal opportunity to achieve success and prosperity.
Whoa, Sam. That's not the definition of the American dream. Because everyone has their own definition of the American dream. Idiot.
On Season 5, Episode 9 of The Sensei Boys, reporting live from the dojo, to my right is Bobby Kinnair.
What's up?
Noah Diakumakos.
Hey.
And Sam Simpson.
Hi.
And I'm Blake Berry. In this episode, we're going to be tackling the big question, is the American dream still alive? We went to the streets to see what your average American thought.
We took a trip back in time to look at historical American dreamers.
And then we look at literature to see what books have to say.
How would you define the American dream?
I would define the American dream as freedom of choice. Freedom of where you want to live, freedom of choices of education, freedom of your work, freedom of faith.
Enjoying life, achieving what you want to achieve at the proper time.
I would define the American dream as the ability to go pursue what you want to go pursue with your life. Kind of go chase your passion, your dream, what you want to go do. The freedom to go do what you want to go do.
As we reflect on the answers given, freedom seems to show up in everyone's response when talking about the American dream. With this freedom, we are given the opportunity or ability to pursue our passions and make our own decisions. Freedom is found in many aspects of life. One of our responses given, she talks about many different types of freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of where you want to live, freedom of religion, freedom of finding a job. In the end, the American dream is people having freedom to live life the way they want to live it.
What is your own personal American dream?
To have a family, raise my family to be healthy and happy, and have them grow up to be good people and contribute to society and have grandchildren.
So not living up to your potential is a definition of hell. So I think for me, my American dream is going after every opportunity and seizing the moment to make the highest and best use of my life and my professional career and my personal life, and pursuing all things with 100% passion.
To graduate from college, find a good man, have a family, and teach school.
To try and get paid as an artist. I don't think it's too much of an unrealistic standard, but I think with enough clarity, I could make it to there. I think a lot of people with the American dream, I think it goes wrong in a lot of ways because they lack clarity.
So, as we look at the different responses, it seems like most people have a different American dream. However, they all center around reaching your full potential. Depends on who you're talking to, really, and what their background is, but most of the time it's not so much a specific dream, but they seem like they have a peak that they want to reach at some point in their lives, whether it be their career or just their happiness. Also, another common theme is that people dream for their children and grandchildren to succeed as well, and that they won't have to worry about them. Have you achieved your American dream? When did you achieve it, or why didn't you achieve it?
I would say it began in 1959 when I was married, and then progressed throughout my life when I had my children, when my grandchildren came, and my great-grandson. And I've achieved the things that I wanted to in life and look forward to the future.
I found a so-so man. No, I'm just teasing. I found a good man. We married. We had 2 children. Chose to be very active in their lives, like PTA, cheerleading coach, going to all their sporting events. I did teach, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and after our teaching, I subbed.
I have, but it is much different than I always pictured that it would be.
How so?
I never pictured myself being a working parent. when I was young and always thought of myself as an adult, I pictured myself being the stay-at-home mom and not the working mom, because that's what my mom was.
I'll tell you when in 9/11, when I was sitting on your back porch on Little Leaf in this kind of a hammock chair with you asleep on my chest, and I thought, oh my God, I know that, why am I here on this beautiful, warm day with this wonderful child asleep on my chest, totally calm, and all that havoc's going on, at the Trade Center.
Well, it seems like most people we've interviewed all think that they've achieved their goals. Now, it's hard to say whether or not a goal and an American dream are the same, or how to distinguish between the two, because it's really, really subjective to who you're talking to. But overall, these people seem really happy with the lives that they've found for themselves. And we have a wide range of what these goals achieved are, from just being a happy mother to being successful in business to something as simple as just being safe and not having to worry about things like terror or violence if you're coming from another country and America is this safe haven for you or this area of new opportunity. And a lot of people seem to be seeing that still in 2018.
What have you learned about the American dream from your personal experiences, and what advice would you offer someone graduating from high school?
Whatever you do the best you can at it.
There's an old adage saying that if you find a job that you enjoy doing, it's not so much work, but you also have to make those opportunities for yourself. And you need to make yourself apply to achieve those.
You don't have to have it all figured out, and you don't have to know what you want your job to be. You can go to college and study something that you're curious about, or something that ignites some sort of passion inside you. Because I love what I do, and if you can get a job or have a career where you love what you do and you are professionally challenged and personally fulfilled, that's part of the American dream, is that you can do something that fills you up.
Work hard, study just like you're supposed to do in high school and in college courses.
All of our interviewees, the advice that they gave for high schoolers, basically have said that if you just work hard and you apply yourself, then you really just get what you deserve. If you find something that you love, then you've filled your American dream. If you find something that satisfies you, you have filled your American dream. And personally, as a rising senior, that really helps me out, knowing that you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have a plan from the get-go, as long as you have just more of a direction to go in rather than having a whole plan. Yo, it's history time. Blake and Nola, tell us about those guys that you researched for from the Civil War, and what did they do, and what their American dream was.
Zebulon Baird Vance, one of North Carolina's governors, lived with a checkered past. At age 24, he starts his first job as a state legislator for North Carolina. 4 years later, growing to become a congressman for the entire country. 3 years after that, he becomes part of the war efforts for the Civil War and serves as a colonel, but on the Confederate side, fighting the Union.
Whoa, that's cool.
This is only for a year, though, as he becomes governor of North Carolina at age 32, just shortly after. His life was not without challenge, however, because 3 years into his first term, William Holden challenges him for his seat as governor, but he wins in a landslide and takes down Holden easily. After the Civil War, Sherman makes his way down to North Carolina with his Union troops and arrests Vance on charges against the Union and the actual country itself. This being said, though, when Zebulon Baird Vance was in office, he was not for North Carolina seceding from the Union, but didn't fight it when it happened either. Due to his efforts to rebuild the Union after the Civil War, and his opposition to North Carolina seceding in the first place, he avoids these charges and gets to return as governor after this. Vance's life, though flawed by racism and rebellion, was full of achievement. Throughout challenges by opposition politically and being arrested, he managed to contribute quite a bit to both North Carolina as a state and the country as a whole. I believe that he did fulfill his American dream and got to succeed at all the things he wanted to do.
Oh, that's nice. No, what about that physician? Can you tell me about him?
John Brevard Alexander was born May 27, 1834, in Limleys Township, Mecklenburg County. His mother, Abigail Bain Cadwell, and his father, Robert Davidson Alexander, raised him. He attended Davidson College in 1850, where he joined the Masonic fraternity. He graduated there in 1852 with high honors and pursued his medical studies at a college in South Carolina. As he finished his studies in 1855, 3 years later, he graduated at the top of his class. His medical career came to a halt when he fought in the Civil War, as first a private, but then transitioned into a surgeon. Years after the Civil War, he moved to Charlotte and soon successfully built up a family of 6 children with his wife, Annie Wall Lowry. He also wrote 3 books and managed a drugstore until his death in 1911. Despite many major obstacles in his life, like the Civil War, he was able to achieve his American dream of saving lives and continuing his medical career, as education was very important to him.
Thank you, Noah. I'm just gonna steal the spotlight real quick with my friend Sam over here. Yo, Sam, you know what's a really good example of the American dream?
The Outsiders?
Dude, yeah, how'd you know that?
We think the same.
We're just very well coordinated. It's almost like we have an outline right in front of us. Dude, The Outsiders. The Outsiders is about a group of guys. They're named the Greasers. And their enemies, the Socias. And all the Greasers basically live together, and they're poor. The Socias are like freaking rich. They're loaded, they have money, and they hate the Greasers. And they have this war between everyone. Around the end of the book, Ponyboy realizes that he doesn't have to be defined by these greaser stereotypes, and he can just do what he wants.
He uses his intelligence to become an individual and get out of the bad life of the streets and being a greaser, and he tries to break the mold so he doesn't have to live the normal life, and he achieves his dream.
What do you think happens after The Outsiders, Sam? Do you think that Ponyboy achieves his dream in the end?
I think he does, because he writes, right?
Yeah.
He probably starts writing more, and that probably helps him get out of his bad situation. It's probably difficult, but I think it definitely happened.
Yeah, he probably could even write about his situation and get money off of that too. Hence The Outsiders. Oh my God! Because in the end of The Outsiders, he literally just says that that he's just done. Hold on, I'm trying to think of what it is. He's the last sentence. Yeah, the last sentence of the book.
Isn't the last sentence?
Yeah, it's the first sentence. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. But no, yeah, it's a pretty good book.